Sunshine. Well, hi folks, how we doing? And I am at a local mountain, a local hill today, and it's going to, yeah, the sun's come out. The forecast wasn't great. It's going to be windy up there, and yeah, I've got a piece of equipment here I want to show you. I've brought this with me. I don't know if you can see that carabiner. It's been a long time since I've needed one of those, but I'll come on to that in a wee bit later and why I've got that. And I've got a companion today sitting in the passenger seat with me. I'll spin you around and introduce you in just a second. But yeah, it's actually looking quite nice. And as I was driving up, I could see that the cloud was clearing for the summit. So fingers crossed that remains the case as I get up and start heading up here. But I've left it later because the forecast was an improving forecast. Anyway, let me introduce you to my walking companion today, who I hope is going to be a good source of chat and entertainment. There she is. Hey Lex, what's that? Eh? No, she's not sure. She's just wanting to get going, so let's get the shoes on, the backpack packed, and let's get hiking up the hill. Shall we go? What do you think, Lexi? Will we go for a walk? Yeah?
With the dog champing at the bit to get out the car and heading on the walk, it was time for me to get the boot open and get my boots on and get my backpack ready for the hike up the hill. And I was really looking forward to it, and I was really looking forward to having the dog with me. I'd been hoping to get the dog out with me much more this year, but due to what's been happening, it just didn't happen. So this was an ideal hill and mountain trek to take the dog up. She'd been up a few hills with me before, but this was the first kind of walk I'd done with her by myself up to the top of a mountain. The path at the start of the walk, and to be fair, the path all the way up this mountain is pretty good, and the start of the walk takes you through some lovely forested areas, and it's a nice wee dog walk on its own right at this part of the walk, and there's babbling brooks and what have you. But before long you start to leave the forestry, and there's a wee gate you have to go through, and beyond here you're up into the open moorland, and usually you get a nice view of what lays ahead and the mountain peak.
Let's go. Go there. Whew. A nice big track here, as you can see. And I've come out of the forested area now, and you can probably see my dog lead where the dog is on this extendable lead. And the reason I needed the carabiner was to attach it to the hip belt of this rucksack. It's got some gear loops in it, so it's perfect. She's probably fine off the lead here, but it's quite useful for vlogging actually. When I'm setting my eyes on the camera, I can clip her on, so I don't have to worry about her and get the shot set up like this one. And then higher up the mountain, where there might be more hares and stuff, I might use it a bit more. But yeah, it's looking not bad. The summit's disappeared into the cloud again, so it's going to be a hit or a miss whether we get it and get some clear views from the top. But anyway, enough waffling, let's get up this hill. Right, come on Lex, let's go. Right, stay.
Usually at this point you get a great view of the mountain. The peak shows itself and you can head on, but not today. It was a bit clagged in, and the going is pretty easy. The gradient isn't too steep for the first few kilometres on this walk. As you can see, the path's pretty good, and there's even some downhill sections, which is it's not unusual. But I'd probably call this part the walk into the mountain before the real climbing begins up to the top.
Whew. Oh, this is lovely now. Usually at this point you can see the mountain behind me, but at the moment it's covered in cloud, unfortunately. And I've been off this week, and every day there's been low pressure systems rolling off the Atlantic, and the weather's been pretty manky. But I was hoping to try and catch some time in between the next one coming in later on, and the forecast was improving before it goes downhill again. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get any views or not from here, but we shall see. I've got my ice axe and my crampons in the bag. Pretty sure I won't need them, but I always carry them just in case. I've been caught out a few times, and even carrying them is good practice for the rest of the winter. Gets you used to that extra weight in the bag. Anyway, right, let's go. Right Lex, let's go. Come on.
So off we set. Then at this point there's a wee lock-in, and I usually call it the halfway lock-in. You've probably done a few kilometres by here and maybe ascended up a couple of 100 metres from the car park, and it's really at this point the true climb begins. But yeah, it's a lovely walk. Even a lot of people just come up to the lock-in for a wee walk. Perfect for a dog walk. Anyway, the dog wanted to go for a wee swim here, which I wasn't intending. But anyway, she was fine, and we headed in. Another thing about this mountain, it's in summer conditions. It's a great hill for if you're beginning hill walking, because there's a good path up to the top, and it's not too hard. So it's a good one to begin with, but just be wary. In the winter it changes completely. Anyway, it was time for a wee stop and a wee treat, and I'd bought some mini savoury eggs, Scotch eggs, and the dog was licking her lips and enjoying them, and I must admit I was enjoying them too. But I took this opportunity to just wrap up because the breeze was picking up and it was getting a bit colder, and it's just time to prepare for the upper parts of the mountain. The dog was certainly ready to go though. Oh man, I tell you, that improving forecast doesn't seem to be improving much. The weather's just, it's pretty manky. Not unexpected, a bit disappointing when there was a wee glimmer of some hope when I was parking up. The top was clear, but at the moment I can see the top maybe another 100 metres vertically from me, and it's the mist is sweeping in over the hill and the cloud and the mank. Pretty horrible, but yeah, I think the dogs want to go back down to me. Come on Lexi, this way. Yes, I'm going to continue to the top and see, but the wind's picking up, it's getting a bit cooler now. I don't really want to hang around too much. I want the dog to keep on walking so she doesn't get too cold, so let's get up to the top. So up we went, and the weather seemed to be deteriorating and not getting better as forecast. The clouds seemed to be getting thicker and thicker, and it was actually raining at this point. And as we were topping out or getting towards the top of this mountain at 841 metres, the wind started to hit us, and it was getting quite gusty. And with the wind comes the chill. The wind chill factor was making it feel a wee bitty cooler. But before long, we were reaching the summit of the mountain. Yep, that's it. Woo. Well, here I am. It's actually clearing a wee bit. This is Ben Vrackie, if you haven't already guessed. Oh, what timing! I don't know if you can see this, but the cloud is... I've been walking up in the clouds since the lock-in, and it's been pretty manky, but a bit atmospheric now. It's clearing below me. I can see back down to the lock-in now. Might be in for some luck. I was going to say I'm not going to hang around, but I might give it 5 or 6 minutes, a random time, and see if it clears. But don't want to stay too long because it's a bit windy and I don't want the dog to get cold. So yeah, let's just see if this cloud comes back in again or if we can get some views. Woo! We hung around for a wee bit longer, maybe not quite 5 minutes, and it didn't seem to be clearing. But then just as I was leaving the summit, I had a wee glance over my shoulder, and I actually thought there were signs of it starting to clear, but yeah, I just thought I was kidding myself. So off we headed and back down the ridge, and within about, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes of leaving the summit and heading down, the weather did start to change and it started to open up. Just typical. How many of you have had that happen to you on top of a mountain? And by the time I was back at the lock-in, the summit was completely clear. Some call it SOD'S law, but I'd maybe just got my timing wrong on this trip. However, it was still fun and it was great. It was a fantastic wee trip with the dog, and I'm really looking forward to getting out more with her. Seems like she had a good time, and we were soon back at the car. And yeah, just another wee tip. If you've got a dog, I'm sure you know this, yeah, have a nice wee rug or towel to have. You see that big brown paw print immediately on there, so use that, and yeah, we were soon heading back home after a great day in the hill. Thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next adventure.